Do you feel like it's better to have a bunch of relationship experience and have those experiences teach you the valuable lessons of dating somebody and loving somebody and taking care of somebody, or not have any of that experience but avoid all of the pain and sadness and all that other stuff that comes with going through all these experiences? And I've been thinking about that a lot lately. It's just this whole idea of experience being something that teaches us how to become better people. But I also kind of question, like, how important truly is experience when it comes to this kind of stuff? Like, do you really need to have a bunch of failed freaking talking stages or relationships in order to truly understand how to take care of someone? What makes me question that idea is the existence of like high school sweethearts, you know, like people that have been together for years, bro, years and years and years, and they've made it work, and they've made, you know, they've been dating since they was in freaking 10th grade. But it's situations like that that make me wonder, well, do you really need all these failed relationship experiences if there are people out there that can knock it out of the park the first time? Even in like media, bro, I love anime. I love watching romance anime. Most of the time, bro, the people that are in these relationships in the romance animes, even some of my favorite ones, are each other's like first real romantic experiences. And the only difference is that they go through the same misunderstandings, same bullshit. They work it out, they communicate in the end, you know, yada 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 yada. I'm just wondering, is it really the same for people in real life? Those people that are together until the 30s, how many times have they had to forgive each other? How many times have they had to grow from doing very immature things to each other, which you're bound to do when you're that young? Me personally, I'm in the group that I've had like a handful of relationships in the past. I value a lot of them. Like, I value a lot of those experiences that I had with these girls because they taught me to be humble. They taught me how to take care of somebody, and they taught me how to respect myself, both for the things that I was putting up with and for the things that I made other people put up with. Like, when I think about, like, if I were to, you know, meet somebody in the future, you know, start a new relationship, the way that I would treat the new relationship would be defined by all of the lessons and all of the things that I was taught by these girls in the past. Like I said, I've experienced both sides of it. I've been the person that was fumbled, and I've been the person that has fumbled somebody else that really cared. I understand what it's like to be mistreated by somebody, and I also know what it's like to be the one that mistreats somebody. I feel like it puts me in a position to really understand, okay, you need to have a balance between respecting yourself and also loving somebody else and treating them the way they need to be treated. It's a fine line to walk, and I'm still learning how to do that. But I don't think I'd be able to truly understand it in the way that I do now if it weren't for those past experiences. Why is it that we don't see like enough of this stuff in media? Like, more characters that have been like, yeah, like I just had a bunch of failed relationships. Like, I think it's weird, and it's another topic of like romanticizing this idea of the first being the one you stay with forever, you know, like your first love as a kid or teenager being like, oh my god, I need them. I often see a lot of people talk online about how like maybe they're in their 20s, or they're like never dated somebody, never been in a relationship, and I guess they kind of get worried sometimes, like, oh, if I've never had the experience, then how am I ever gonna find somebody, or how am I ever gonna treat somebody right, or, you know, all these other worries and fears. I guess I kind of say like it's important to kind of keep that balance between self-respect and unconditional love for somebody, because you kind of need both in order to be able to walk that line of having a healthy relationship with somebody. I think a lot of people go either one way or the other when it comes to this stuff. I definitely have. It's either you're being really selfish, the relationship is serving you, or you're being very selfless and the relationship is serving the other person, doing it for somebody that's not necessarily doing it back for you. But I do think it's important to keep in mind that if you've never been in one before, the one that you're going to have, you need to make sure it's purely out of choice and not out of like loneliness. Remember that you're still worth it, bro. Like, you're still worth it. You don't need to put up with like bad treatment because this is just the first person that's ever treated you this way. And I think that's another reason why people stay for so long. And it kind of makes me wonder, like, is that why the first love is so romanticized? Because it's like, oh, this is the first person that ever did this for me or treated me this way. What's more valuable than that can often be someone that just treats you that way just because, you know? I'm starting to feel like as I get older, like that to me is worth a lot more than just I'm experiencing this thing I've never had before, and this making me want to keep this person around for longer, as opposed to just, oh, this person actually just likes me and just is doing this because they want to make me happy. I don't think I'd be able to treat anybody with the kind of love that I can now and the intensity that I can now if it weren't for all those past relationships, dude. Like, I kind of wonder, like, if I didn't have those experiences where I hurt somebody or I was hurt, like, who would I even be dating now, bro? I'd probably be dating some damn monsters, some freaking supervillains, and I would never have learned that lesson, you know? I guess the flip side of that is just the people that have not learned that lesson yet, or to those that have never been in relationships, like, are y'all cooked? Are y'all cooked? Y'all aren't cooked. Y'all aren't cooked. Y'all aren't cooked. I think it's more so just you have to be a bit more careful when you've never been in one before, because you can fall into that dangerous trap of not respecting yourself enough because you don't know the standards yet, or you don't know what your standards are. To that, I kind of give the advice of take a piece of paper, like write down or type in your phone, like what are some things that make you feel the most loved, and instead of like qualities in another person, just think about, oh, what makes me feel the most loved, and also just what are the things that I like about myself that I would want somebody to appreciate if I were to be with them, and kind of use that as like a guiding force, not as like a checklist, but more so just like oh, seems like this person can't really do this for me. Don't be afraid to be like, hey, if this isn't working, bro, like I can't do this, bro. You don't have to stay for so long just because it's the first person that's treated you this way in a long time. To me, it's worth a lot more to appreciate someone that does it because they want to do it for you, and not necessarily focusing on, oh, I've just never had it before, you know. But that's just me. Setting aside experience, I do think there are some core things that if you are able to just practice that, you probably could knock it out of the park the first time. And it's really just like self-respect, forgiveness, and learning how to care about somebody while also making sure you're not putting up with stuff that you don't really need to be putting up with. And the big thing for me is just what are they doing for you as well, putting that on top of how you feel. Because if you only think about how you're feeling, like you'll put up with the lie, bro. You'll put up with the lie, bro. Holy. You have to also look at how they're treating you. But I believe, to everybody that hasn't had one, bro, like I believe y'all got it, bro. I feel like everybody has like the chance. There's so many people in the world, bro. There's no way that like y'all don't have any chance at all. I wish there were like more like romance anime out there where like it shows a realistic progression of people that have had a realistic like, oh yeah, I had failed relationships in the past, or oh yeah, this one didn't work out. One that comes to mind that I think y'all should really watch or read, I prefer reading it because the manga's really good. This manga called Wotakoi, Otakus in Love or something like that. It's a story about this, I think, childhood friends, and then later as adults they then meet again, and that's when they start to develop feelings after this other girl gets out of a relationship where she wasn't really accepted for who she actually was. And it is then where they're able to slowly build this like very realistic and like adult relationship where they learn a lot of things about each other and they learn how to like accept each other for who they are. It's nice, bruh. I love reading it, bro. It's good. I don't know, y'all. I'm just yapping. Does experience matter, or do you think what you really need to do is just hold on to those values of yours and to that self-respect? I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. Stay safe, y'all.